So John Street's actually gone quite a long way. Like, I even remember, like, even 5 years ago, the only place at night would be that 24-hour golf place and the drink place across from it. When I got up and I spoke, I just kind of acknowledged the veterans for their service, and I just straight saying that if it wasn't for them doing what they did, I wouldn't even be here speaking today. And then because it was the 50th year, I said something along the lines of like, even though today it marks the 50th year since the anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War, I'll make sure I'll be here in the 100th year. And then Vietnamese, I said to the crowd, my Vietnamese is not that good, but I want to say that phrase I just said in Vietnamese. Yeah. The more I did it, probably after the third year or fourth year, I had a lot of riders starting to reach out saying that because of your event, I was able to help, get out of depression, or help get out of my negative thoughts, or help me recovering from losing my mother.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Rice and Mike's podcast. I'm your host, Tung Nguyen, and today I'm joined by a very, very, very special and notable man. His name is Kevin Lamb. Oh, I made that rhyme. Yeah. Kevin, how you going?
Very good, very good.
It's good to have you here. Now, if you remember a couple episodes ago, his wife was actually on the show, Bao, who is behind the camera. Now, I think if you combine both of their resumes together, it would make Microsoft Word explode because you guys have a ton of experience working in a number of things, one of which is you are a councillor at Fairfield City Council, you're a board member for Western Sydney Academy of Sport, a town planner, and you also run Sydney West Riders on the side of that. So what is it like running all these things at once on top of your personal life as well?
Like, it's obviously people will look at it from the outside, be like, that's pretty busy. But for me, it's like, I guess I got a bit of a meaningful purpose in each of those areas of why I do it, and that gives me a lot of the drive and the motivation to balance it all. And plus, luckily, me and Bao, we haven't got kids yet, so that also helps with balancing everything. So yeah,
is that on the plan? Because I feel like will you be able to balance everything?
Yeah, I think the aim is next year. Hopefully, we'll start trying to have kids. Yeah. And a lot of, I guess, for example, Sydney West Riders, a lot of the events I do, back then I'll be the one that trying to be at every single event. But now I'm very grateful. I've got a large team of people that are starting to take a lot of the lead in a lot of those events. So that puts me to be able to keep that growing. Yeah.
Well, let's give a bit of context on what some of that is. So Sydney West Riders, you've been running that for how many years now?
Yeah, so we're heading into our 14th year. So just like Tony got his bike recently, but yes, I got my bike so just out of high school. I was working at McDonald's as a first job.
Your parents approved of you getting a bike that early?
Well, they didn't actually. That's the thing. So the idea was like, I got enough money saved. Me and my twin brother, he's Stephen Lamb. We were like, you know what, let's get a bike. We thought it would be something different and cool. And then after work, we both worked at McDonald's, separate McDonald's.
Is this the, which one is this?
So I worked at Lansville McDonald's.
Oh my God, the classic. Yeah.
And then Stephen, because he's a twin, he worked at Fairfield. And we didn't want to be together because just in case people would start making jokes like, oh, there's two of them at the back there. So just like, yeah, you go there and... Oh really? You don't want to deal with that? You do your thing. Yeah. And we saved enough to get a bike. I got it first, and... Our parents were always against motorbikes, so we actually, so when I bought my bike, I stored it at my friend's place who lived a few houses down. His name's Chris Boy, he still rides now, and I left at his house. And then for a few weeks, I started buying gear, motorbike jackets.
Yeah, the classic.
And then one day my mum just made a joke saying, what's this jacket that you just got? This looks good. And I was like, it's gone to the snows,
the snow jacket.
And then one day, she happened to see a key which had a Honda thing on it, and she just made a joke saying, "Oh, did you get a bike?" And I just kind of thought like maybe she's acceptance of it. And then I just said, "Yeah, I got a bike." And then she just lost the stuff, and and then the day after, she said, "Bring it in," and then I brought it in, and then she got upset for that one day, and then Stephen, once she was all good with it. My twin brother brought his bike over, and then she was angry for the couple of days.
Oh my God! Reset the timer again.
Yeah, but then after that, it was all good. Now she's fine with it. Yeah.
What was your first bike?
So my first bike was a Honda CBR 250RR.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's the old 90s original Jap bikes. And then my brother had the Hyosung GT 250R, which is like a Korean bike, which I don't think they do anymore.
Yeah, don't see any of them around. The Sydney West Riders, can you bit of context? That's like a community group.
Yeah, so one of the first group rides me and my brother went to was another group called Sydney Riders, and then they were able to bring so many people together, which was awesome, like to go on a big group ride. And then we decided to, you know what, let's just create a Facebook group, which Facebook was just starting to just add a couple of friends that we know that happen to ride motorbikes. So it was myself, Stephen, that neighbour, Chris Bowie, and a few other people, and we had our first little meetup, I'd say on a Wednesday night, and then we were able to get like 8 of us together. And our first ride was just going from Cabra Jacks to Kenley Vale and back to Cabra Jacks.
It's like the shortest ride.
The shortest ride. We were like, that's so cool, right? I was so mad. And then every Wednesday we kept making it a thing, and we started going a bit further away. And then 14 years later, that Wednesday night still goes on. And on top of that, we're running all sorts of events on top of that as well now. So the community's grown to over 15,000 members, and we run street events, track events, all sorts of stuff now. Yeah.
So when you started those group rides, was that you still on your L's?
Yes, I was still on my L's. So I'll have to do a bit of a briefing, like where we're going, safety, and start being on the L's and telling some people who come they're on their full license, like
who's this guy?
Who's this guy, you know? But over time, always remember why I started it, and which is bringing people together, and I just stuck through that, and then I think people, I guess, like what we were trying to do or create, or environment that we created, and then organically it's just grown since then. Yeah,
that's every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday night. Yeah.
Damn, that's a big commitment. Once a week.
Yeah. So the first 10 years, I would be every Wednesday there for like most of the time. Always there leading.
10 years straight.
10 years straight or more, and then it was only when I got into council or when I started doing more work, my brother would say for us to keep Sydney West Riders growing or make it sustainable, we have to start empowering our other leaders, other people in the group to step up and do those events. So fortunately, I've got a good team of people who now run that for me, and I might have to just to lead every few months or any big rides. I'll come lead, but let the team do it, and then so that's how it keeps going. Yeah.
What were you doing at Lithgow? So I actually bumped into Kevin at Lake Lyle when I was on a camping trip. I saw you had the van and everything. I assume you had bikes in there. You transporting?
No. So that was just because my brother, that's his commute car now as well.
Oh, that was your brother?
Yeah. So I was there too, but because we got the track day business, which for viewers is so obviously we've been running 14 years the street, but 7 years ago we started our own track day business where.
That's at London, right?
Yeah, London Raceway and Eastern Creek. And that's our way of trying to get street riders into track riding to encourage speeding off the streets. But back to your question about the van. So my brother, that van is needed for those events, but my brother uses it as his commute as well. So every time we go camping or need a lot of stuff in, we just tell them to bring the van. So when we were there, it was just a few high school mates actually
nice.
Catching up, and then I heard your voice because I remember hearing the podcast like that voice is familiar. And it's tongue driving.
My voice is like a Pokemon sound, like I know which Pokemon that is.
And then we just said hello because I knew that we were going to catch up soon. So I was like, let's just wait for this to properly catch up.
That's the issue. So if you guys don't know, trying to talk to guests before I get them on, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because I do want to chat to him, but the issue is I want to have a mic in front of us because we are going to do it eventually. So it's like, if we talk now, it's going to be like we're talking about it again. It'll be a bit repetitive. Yeah. So we're just like, hello. And I was checking out his camping gear. I really like the birdie you had, the Zempire.
Yeah, little setup. Yeah,
it was nice. But I think you guys were riding as well.
No. So those ones we were just driving. That was with my high school friends. None of them ride, or only one of them, Simon, that rides, and then. My brother, that's it. But it was just a time to clock off and just sit by the campfire and just catch up with mates. Yeah.
Because I heard bikes.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was you guys. I thought you guys transported them. And
no, we heard them as well. There was a bunch of bikes that rode past. And we just listen, because as riders, you just listen to, what are those bikes?
Yeah,
but they just went right past.
Engine
that wasn't
sound.
us though, yeah.
I thought it was you guys the whole time.
No, it wasn't us.
We'll go back in time.
Yes.
To where it sort of started, because you do focus a lot on the town planning. Like, that's your main gig.
Yeah, so I studied town planning at University of New South Wales, and I guess my first career gig was a town planner. So the background of what a town planner is let's say you want to build an apartment or build anything, usually you go through council to get the approval. The town planner from the outside of council will put in their submission what they believe meets the criteria, and then I was the one that was the assessing town planner, and I'll look at the plans along with with other colleagues to give the approval or not before it gets approved for construction. So I did that for actually only 2 or 3 years, and then when I graduated from university, I had the option to either keep pursuing town planning, but I actually decided to start a graduate role working for a state government agency called Urban Growth at the time, but now Landcom. So that's where you
Landcom. Wait, that's super familiar. I think we deal with them at Metro.
We do. I'm dealing with them directly right now. But the reason why I stepped away from planning is not step away, but the town planning aspect only gave me, I guess, one chapter of the development book. Like, once it gets approved, you don't know really what happens after that. The developer does his thing, whereas starting a new role as a graduate with Landcom now, I get to eventually learn the whole process of development. So I get to be involved in the early vision to create that master plan or create that city, and then be that one to sell it off finally to the mum and dad as well. So you get to see the whole
so that's thing. What you wanted to do. You wanted to see the development of the area.
That's it. Just like I enjoyed playing like SimCity as a during high school days, and going back even before high school. Me and my brother used to have Legos and cereal boxes and Hot Wheels, and we'll create like little cities on the floor.
Oh my god.
And then I think that grew the inspiration to build cities real life. So to now do that as a job is great. So that's how that's why do my job.
Is Belle putting pressure? She's behind the camera. She's like
she's not. She's okay.
Yeah, you're pretty comfortable on the mic. I mean, you do the local councillor work as well. So are you in front of the camera often?
Not as often. But I can see it slowly starting to increase as I guess build my profile.
Are you more public facing?
Yeah, more public facing, and I'm quite an introvert person. I had to step a lot out of my comfort zone to get to where I am now. So it's scary, but it's all right. It's good. You gotta remember why you're doing it, and that's the main thing.
So I was saying he's humble.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
But you can't admit that you're humble, because then that cancels out. So you can't ever agree to it. All right. Well, as a town planner locally, do you know what's happening with that plot of land across Anytime Fitness, the new one at Cabra?
Fitness in Cabramatta.
You know where the old fire station was?
Yeah. So
there's that big block of land at the corner.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
I think it was supposed to be a residential apartments there, because there was hoarding, like nice graphic hoarding, probably like 5-6 years ago, what that looked like. But it looks like it's not going ahead. So it's either the private developer has done his visos on work and realised it can't come to life. So maybe that's why it hasn't been developed. But that will be up to the private sector to make that move. Council won't be able to go on that.
Hasn't done anything.
Yeah, so haven't done anything. Yeah. I suspect that'd be the thing.
Because that's been empty for like as long as I can remember.
Yeah. No, it has. Yeah.
When was the last time it had land in it? I'm trying to think. Maybe as a kid it might have.
I'm guessing it would have had
on it.
Some houses on it. Like
I just can't picture it in my head anymore. What was there?
Yeah,
there's empty plot of land. But if you guys don't know, on Cabramatta Road, if you just search up like Anytime Fitness Cabra, it's like right next to it. Empty plot of land. No one knows what's going on with it because it's been empty for like 20 years or something. So just curious if there's ever going to be development on that, because that would definitely stand out.
That's in the T of Hill Street and Cabramatta Road.
It's just been so long empty. You know, we do have quite similar upbringings. We've got the origin story of our parents coming here as refugees. And is this what led you into politics to try and make a difference in the community you grew up in?
Yeah, definitely. So my parents came from the Vietnam War, let's say in the, I think, early 80s, 82, 84. So both my parents would have refuged to Malaysia first. My dad went to Perth and stayed there for a few years, but then jumped over to Sydney because there was more job opportunities. My mum went straight to Sydney and stayed at Eastwood Migrant Hostel for a bit, and eventually she worked as well, and then the parents met. But yeah, I guess in terms of what drive me to put my hand up for councillor is probably a few years after high school, I started getting more present to their journey and why they came to Australia. I just had that bit of a drive thinking, you know, as a young person or any Vietnamese young person, we should be doing more to, I guess, honor the life of what our parents have done. And that's why I kind of like, you know what, we should be contributing back to Cabra or the Fairfield or the city that accepted our parents or our parents' generation. And that went probably more fired up more when I lost my father as well. That kind of just made me remind myself that I have to do more, and hopefully in that process encourage a lot of other Vietnamese people similar age to look at their parents' story and use that as a source of motivation to contribute in a way. It doesn't have to be politics, but it could be anything that is meaning to them, to just honour their parents. So that's kind of been the main driver. Yeah.
And I know there's been a few things popping up as well to honour that. I know in Melbourne they had a museum open up.
Yes, correct.
Familiar?
Yeah, so they so the Vietnamese Museum, it's been probably 5 years or more in the making.
Yeah.
And the organisation there done a great job in getting that going. And their mission is to be able to showcase all the stories of what happened in that Vietnam War, but also the journey of all the Vietnamese refugees coming here, so that the future generation would know all that history and doesn't disappear. So I had opportunity to go with Di a few months or last month.
I think you guys were at the opening, yeah?
Yeah, so that was
it's in Melbourne context.
Yeah, it's in Melbourne, yeah. So that was they started construction earlier this year, so they had a big event to bring people together, but myself and Di, we couldn't make it. So they had their annual gala this year, and because this gala was represented the 50th year since the fall of Saigon, 1975, me and Di, it's better off. It would be great if we go to that gala because it's an important year, but also let's go just check out the status of the works as well. So
is that soon?
We already checked. We checked it out already.
Oh, the gala, sorry.
So the gala already happened. So the gala and the inspection we did was both in the one day.
Oh, right.
And they're anticipating the completion of that project, I think mid next year.
Oh, it's not done yet. I thought it opened.
No, not yet. Oh. So the gala they have every year is to, I guess, raise awareness of the museum coming up, but also generate further funding to help with the construction. But next year when they open it, that'll probably be a big moment for Vietnamese Australians. Yeah.
Yeah, mate, this guy is representing a lot of us.
Yeah.
You did also try to run for, what was it? It was the 2016. Yeah, you ran for Fairfield Council.
Yeah, that's it. So even though I got elected in 2021, the journey actually started in that 2016 council election. And I guess why I started was for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. But when I first ran for that council, I didn't really understand the political environment. I just saw it as like, I want to be a prefect or a school captain for my school. I want to make a difference to that. So I'll just run my campaign, right?
What is the difference between like councillor versus running for what's even the right term for this?
Councillor is the local elections. So the seat that I have now as a councillor, that was the seat that I was running on my own in 2016 as well.
Initially, yeah.
Just, I guess, the second time round, I worked with Darley in Darley's team so that I could work with her.
It's a bit different.
It's still the same role, but it's a different, I guess before when I ran 2016, I was running on my own. Like let's say I run the whole campaign myself. Whereas in general in life, sometimes you got to work in teams.
Yeah.
So
you have a better support network?
Better support, people who've learned already that process. And I actually met Di in 2015, 14. So she actually offered to help me during that 2016 election. But I kind of, being in that mentality of school captain thing, I was like, I'll just run my own thing. And unfortunately, I was unsuccessful, but I learned a lot during that process. And then after that, I realized you have to work in teams and have mentors. And Di reached out and said, would you like me to mentor you? And from there, I just helped her and joined her, and then here I am. Yeah.
Tell us more about the process of running for this whole campaign, because I think a lot of people are quite curious on what goes on, how you're printing all these big signs with your face in it saying put me number one.
It's like just running for your school captain, but on a much bigger scale. And then you just have to brainstorm. Well, one of the first things I did was I just met with other councillors that I knew from other states, actually, because at the time I was only 22, so I was like, I'm too young.
That's really young to be running for that.
So I was like, I'm 22, like this is not normal. But I did a Google search and I found out that there's people that are 18, right, that are councillors or mayors. And I one of the first people I met was his name was Michael, and he was the mayor for his council in Perth. And I was actually there to visit family. And I went to sit with him for coffee, and then he made it seem like easier than it is. Not easier than this, but sometimes we make things much harder than it is. But really, it's just running like school captain, but on a much bigger scale. And you just got to brainstorm all the things you need to do for people to know what your policies or what you're trying to achieve, and that means flyers, posters, door knocking, and then I think him coming from a young person, and I'm telling him, I'm too young for this. He's like, that's not really true. Like, because in his area, there's a lot of young people. And then once he understood that there are not many young people in Sydney, he said, you either complain about it or you try to be that example. And so I think from that conversation, it kind of gave me that confidence, like you just give it a go. So very grateful of Michael for giving me that wisdom. And caught up with him a couple of years ago in Cabra. He came all the way to Cabra.
All the way down,
And I acknowledged him for giving me that wisdom and believing in what I was trying to do. So
how do you fund all that? Because you got to print a lot of things, right? It's really expensive.
So I only had because I was still studying or finishing studies. So I only had like $8,000 or $10,000 in the bank account.
Savings,
But then it came down to that purpose, that why I wanted to do it. And I was like, you know what, it just felt like it made sense to go for it. I actually just spent all the money I had just to give it a go. And I knew that even if I didn't get up, I can go to sleep or one day get old, know that I had tried. And so even though I didn't have that, that's what I did. Yeah.
And how did that go? Because I know you got 7% of primary votes. I don't know what what's a good figure, so because people what is it? Preferential voting kind of changed things.
Even I didn't know what the preferential voting at the time, but I just need to get as many votes like running for that.
Possible, yeah.
So that equates to probably like a few thousand votes. And I think even though a lot of people didn't know myself, and even I didn't know many people, I think people seeing a young picture on a poster, like they might resonate, that maybe give this young person an opportunity. So that's why the results were, I guess, okay. But even though I didn't get elected, I felt so relieved and proud, because I was like, wow, actually, I did it, And in that 3 months or 4 months of campaigning or learning everything out, I just felt like I was able to grow quicker. Instead of 2 years or 3 years to learn some valuable lessons, I just put myself in that uncomfortable zone and learn a lot. So I'm very grateful with that. And I think at the same time it demonstrated to Di, my eventual mentor, that this guy is ready to do what it takes. So that was a good launching pad to, I guess, be under die. But if I didn't do that, then I would have been just another potential young person that probably wants to do it, but hasn't shown the full cards or full commitment that really wants to do it. So I think that was a good launch pad there.
Do you think there's, like, I know you're saying there are a lot of young people that campaign and try to go for it. But do you think there's like a certain age that is like too young, and then there's like experience, and then it's like too old? Because why do they care to make a difference if they're like going to retire?
Yeah, it's a bit, like I guess at the time I thought the young, the better. But thinking back, even if I got elected at that age, I don't know if I had the full life skills to be, I guess, the best councillor to represent people. But at the same time, I knew I'll be forced in that deep end at an early age to learn a lot of the things to become a good representative as well. So it's kind of it just depends on how everyone sees it. Yeah.
Okay. And that was so it was 2016 you ran for that one. I think in between that, were you also working on your the town planning in between that?
So I would have been working as a town planner at the time. So at
Blacktown City
Council. Yeah.
I think there's a bit of crossover here because one of my guests, his dad did work for Blacktown City Council. I don't know if you know him, George Nicolaitis.
It sounds familiar. Yeah. But I was only there for a year and a bit. And then before that, I was actually at Fairfield Council as a town planner, student town planner there.
So you're a student, and then you got like more work experience in Blacktown, and then went back to Fairfield.
So I went back to Fairfield as a councillor 10 years later.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome. All right. How do people even get into town planning? Because I think a lot of people will be like, what's involved? All right. Accountants, they do Excel. IT people use a computer.
So if you like SimCity and Hot Wheels, like how I did, town planning is actually a very big demand at the moment for that career. And to get the ATAR, to get into that, I think it's as low as 75 to 80 now.
Low as 75?
Yeah, or 80 or even lower.
That's more than double than what I got.
Yeah, and it's not, and it just shows the demand for it. So when I studied it, which is at University of New South Wales, there's only like 50 or 60 students. So, and there's always a shortage in planners. So if you ask and if you talk to council managers, or they always say there always a shortage on town planners, because every council needs planners to review the stuff that's coming in. But at the same time, outside, every consultant needs a planner to help them wrap everything together to lodge to council, and there's a shortage in that.
So it's a lot of like contract reading and you look at renders for stuff.
So obviously the architect will build the dream of what the client wants, but at the same time that vision needs to adhere to a lot of the council controls or state controls, and that's where the planner comes in and reviews that, and then he creates, I guess, the overarching report that makes sure or demonstrates to that council that this design or this report by this engineer, all that stuff, we believe meets that. So please assess and approve it. Whereas that council planner on the other side in council will assess it and say, no, it doesn't meet the heights. It's a little bit off here. And so there's a bit of throw and toe.
Does this include people building on their land? Like if they want to build granny flats and stuff? So
that's separate. So there's stuff where certifiers can approve, so like granny flats or even houses. Now a lot of that can be done through a certifier, but the certifier will also have to look at pretty much all the documentations to make sure that meets the state controls and approve it. So the certified pathway is much quicker, you'd say, for the smaller stuff, and then for the slightly bigger stuff, or then you still have to go through a council.
Is that where the councillor comes in? So what you do, where you
so councillor one is completely a bit different. So that's the role as a town planner. Councillor is to round that up is, so the city of Fairfield, you got a population of 210,000 people, and then council staff there's around, let's say, 1,000 or 1,200, and the role of a councillor and the mayor is kind of like, I guess, a board in a way, or pretty much a body that kind of help steer to where the city needs to be based on what the 210,000 residents are expecting, and then steer the council staff so that we are creating policies or creating things or buildings and developments to help shape that. So that's the councillors.
Yeah.
And then the councillors will liaise with a lot with the managers of those 1,000 staff, and then together those two will work as a team, I'd say, and hopefully steer the area to.
Okay. What's the difference between the mayor and the local electorate? Like our mayor Di versus Frank Cabra.
So the mayor there's a mayor and then there's 12 councillors. So the 12 councillors pretty much not report to the mayor, but together with the mayor would chair the meetings and I guess steer Fairfield to that to the strategic directions that we want. But Di's role is different. She's obviously the deputy mayor and councillor, but she's also the federal member. So she does things at Parliament at the federal level, but she also at the council level. So that's the difference. Yeah,
it's hard to wrap my head around sometimes. There's a lot of technicals.
Yeah.
So we voted in the mayor, right? I'm kind of losing it. Like there's so much going on. I forget who we voted for and stuff when that happened.
Yeah. Also, when the local elections happen, you have an opportunity to vote for your councillors, but also there's a separate little card or ticket where you vote who the mayor you'd like as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the small ticket.
Yeah.
So who is there's another local guy, Trevo.
So he'll be the state member.
There's another guy.
So there's local and there's state and there's federal. State will be him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. What does he do?
He'll probably look at a lot of the state matters kind of thing. So like, for example, for council, when people say, we need potholes restored on these roads, for the local roads, like for example, the road just out here, that will be something that council will need to do. But let's say if there's a pothole on Cabra Road or on Hume Highway, that's a state road. So something like that tree we probably have to look into. But then there's I guess different matters for different levels of government. Yeah. But obviously, Tree does much more bigger stuff. But that was just an example.
A simple one, yeah. Because I remember on Hume there was there's this big road that like kind of curved in and it made like a big bump.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one? They only just recently fixed it.
Yeah.
I think it was near Cabra High.
Okay.
Going towards like the Cabra station.
Yeah.
And the road was just like, I don't know, it had like a dip in it, and I think it just like went in and merged together, kind of like when you get Play-Doh and you squish it together. It made this like big hill, and I was like, man, if I was riding and I hit that, I'm dead.
I see.
But I think it eventually got fixed, but it took a while. Like it was there for a bit.
Yeah. So it depends on the road and which council or state, and then obviously council and state, they have their own respective contractors that manage a lot of their assets, and then if it's council, I think it might be a little bit quicker, but for state, I don't know how it works, but they'll have to get someone out. And
are there a lot of arguments about like whose LMA is it?
Who's like, this is yours or this is ours?
Yeah.
I think
happens a lot at Metro.
I guess it can happen, but for those stuff, it's quite clear cut. Like this is that's a state road. This is a local road. So, but from outside, if residents look at it, say, it's the same road, do something. but between internally, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, but it's just a matter of time to get it resolved. Is another thing. Yeah.
So for councillors, you got the there's a bit of a perception on what you guys might do versus what actually happens. Yeah. So what's the quick rundown for what might you do? Because before this recording, you said you're already doing some work in the morning, chatting to a resident.
So the public perception could be sometimes, they just at the function, sitting at the front or in the photos, cut the ribbon. But behind that, there's still a lot of work. Like there's council meetings, committee meetings that we have to commit to every Tuesday night. And on top of that, not just the events, but there'll be residents that will reach out and meet up. So, because let's say a resident has an issue, for example, this morning, it was a fellow place of worship. They want to just do some upgrade works, but they're having trouble understanding the council requirements. So I'll meet with that resident and try to interpret and understand what I think the next steps are for her. So there'll be a lot of different residents that you would meet on a weekend. But also if they have to meet in the weekday, then there's times where there's a lot they want to meet in the weekday. I'll have to take off leave from my full-time job to line up a bunch of appointments with the residents.
Wow.
And bring sometimes the staff that I think would help that resident and help be that middle person to explain the situation. There's a lot of stuff that happened where I take leave like that, and then you come back to work and everyone will be like, hey, how's the leave? But you
didn't really take leave.
You didn't take leave. Or like a lot of lunch breaks I do. I have to run to a cafe on my laptop to read papers of council meetings or respond to emails and then run back to work. Again, I don't really tell my colleagues. I don't want them to think that he's got a lot on, but at the same time, I'm squeezing in those times to be, I guess, an effective councillor to respond to constituents as well, which people won't see that. Yeah.
Did you have to declare that you're working multiple jobs, right?
Yeah. So as soon as I got elected, I did tell my boss that that's a form of secondary employment, and we're able to sign some agreements to pretty much confirm that if I do work at my main company, that if I do the other job, then I have to do it either on my breaks or after work hours, and that's what I do. Yeah.
And how often are you using your leave to do this?
Probably I'm starting to grow now as I guess as I get more involved in my profile grows, more people reaching out. So I don't know, I'm not sure how many days, but when it comes to taking annual leave, I realize I don't have much for my actual holiday.
I'm going to go on holiday, yeah.
But then there'll be sometimes conferences that we have to go to, like local government conferences, which are in Canberra, so you have to take leave to go to the conference, drive away there, and yeah. So but it's okay. It's I find it's rewarding, so it's okay. Yeah,
it's all right. I don't know. It just sounds like it's hard to take actual vacations if you do want to have a little break.
Yeah, between it. And you got to time your holidays so it doesn't clash with council meetings. Because people voted you in, so they expect you to be there at those main council meetings. So if you go on holidays during that, it's not good. So I had to tell Val, we've got to structure this, probably end. Like you try to avoid going overseas at the end of the year because it costs us the most, but we unfortunately have to do that a lot, which is okay. Yeah.
So it's like teachers.
Yeah,
they can only go during school holidays.
That's all right. That's right. But it's okay. It's all good. We still manage it.
That's the sacrifice.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice. Yeah.
So when you're saying people reach out to you because they voted you in, are they clicking on a site and there's just like profiles of you guys, kind of like with lawyers? It's like, oh, which lawyer should I pick to work on my case?
So there's on the website that has that and the contact details, but I find for me is a lot of word of mouth. I think, let's say I've helped resolve a matter for someone, and then someone probably reach out to me because I was able to help another person, and I think from that has been a lot of the queries coming from, and I think that's good. But my aim is to build my personal brand to be someone that trying to help and find solutions. So hopefully that's a lot of that's from word of mouth, and maybe for some Facebook, so if people follow, they can see that I'm involved in the community, and through that they'll also see it. Let's say when they look at the 12, maybe they see, oh, that guy Kevin, I think I've seen him from somewhere. Yeah. And maybe they're more inclined, maybe just send an email over. So yes, that's how they come through.
That's what gets confusing because when this might help for your marketing as well, as someone not as into the whole politics thing, trying to understand it a bit more, but sometimes if people would tag you, for example, and then be like, Kevin Lamb, local councillor or whatever, and I think like, oh, is he also running for the local member and he's trying to earn brownie points? Like I try to understand like how do you know if someone's working for him or you're kind of doing your own thing? It's hard to differentiate that.
Are you talking about in just general social media? Someone tags,
like Facebook, like, oh, like, can you fix this? Yeah. And then you're just like, oh, I'll have a look at it. But then I'm like, wait, who is this guy? Like, I thought it was all Di and Frank Carboni.
Yeah. Oh, because the local level, there's the mayor and there's the 12 councillors, and I guess people who happen to know one of the 12 tend to tag them in issues that people pop up. And that's a good thing that someone...
happens quite often. Yeah. If you're on the Fairfield community page, there's a lot of tagging of Frank Carboni.
Yeah, so they tag... Yeah, because they know that...
A lot of things.
And I think credit to Frank, not many mayors in other areas get right in the trenches in the community and be fully active and responding to everyone, whereas Frank does that all the time. So people are not used to Frank and Di always responding to things, so they always, rather than going through council and
the emails
and call, they just tag and then Frank and Di will respond. So people get used to that and then they think, that's
the official channel, right?
That's the official channel now.
Yeah.
But Frank and Di are always encouraged to email things through, because there's a lot of things that they're juggling, and email sometimes allows them to be able to control that and also send it off to.
Yeah.
Because that's what they have to do. Like a lot of things, sometimes people Facebook me, I'll usually have to prepare an email anyway and then email it to the relevant staff or manager to help me on this matter. So if they do it through the email first, it allows me to go through that straight away.
Easier triage. When you got it all ready to go.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe it's easier, trying to think of it as a marketing way, but Councillor under Di or something. I don't know. Yeah. So I get mixed up on like who is who.
Yeah.
Because like you're telling me there's 12.
There's 12 of us. Yeah.
I don't know who the other 11 are. I've got no idea.
Yeah. So that's so they'll be on the website, but then I guess our role as each of us councillors is to build our own personal profile. So that's why I think most of them have their own Facebook page as well. But for my one is I try to just get people to know that I'm one of the 12 that you could reach out to as well.
I really should check who they are.
Yeah.
Are they also around same age-ish?
There's one that's younger than me. He's probably late 20s, and then all the rest are older. So between 40s to 50s or 35s. Yeah, so around all older than me.
Big range, yeah.
Yeah, big range.
Okay.
Yeah, big diverse range. Yeah.
All right. Well, don't send everything to Kevin then.
Yeah.
11 others. So I assume you're getting quite a lot of emails in general.
It's a lot, but it's manageable.
Yeah.
And, it's fine.
You got to juggle this on top of your full-time role anyway. Well, since you've worked in council, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen since you've started?
Biggest change. One is I started as a student there, and I just remember going back there to get my IT equipment because I got a councillor. I remember seeing my former boss there, so it was a crazy moment for me to start as a student planner and come back as a councillor. So that's a bit of context. Yeah. But things that have changed. I'm not sure if things like the systems have changed too much. Obviously, due to COVID, there's computers, Zoom, all that stuff. But I think the big advantage that I have, which is great, is because I worked there for a year and a half, I understood the processes that council staff had to go through. So now being a councillor, I can understand how that works, and whereas other councillors might not have that full access. So that helps me understand how these papers or this data or this thing works and who you have to speak to, which manager you need to go to for that matter, like just naturally. Yeah, it's
surprising when you hear that different councils work in like completely different ways, because there is actually, at least from my personal recollection, other people's stories that I've heard in my circle, is that usually a lot of councils run a lot of ancient hardware, or they're stuck in their sort of old ways, like they'll only use faxes or something, or offices are really old and people are just there ready to retire. That's the public perception. At least I don't know about Fairfield, but I've heard about it from other councils that it's pretty old. Yeah,
no, I think Fairfield's pretty modern. I guess they modernised now. I think where you're mentioning it, I think a lot of regional councils, rural councils, a bit further away would probably be still a few years back or
old
more.
School, and the ways of working and stuff.
But I think it definitely improved since I was there. Yeah.
How about the town itself? I think one of the biggest ones I liked is the parks.
Yes.
Like the upgrades to the park. The one in near, what's the one near here?
Barina Park. No,
the koi fish one.
Yeah, Barina. Yeah.
Oh my god, beautiful park. If you ever do visit, I don't know who designed it, but it was like so unique. I've never seen anything like it before. But is it a slide? Is it what's in there?
I think it's a slide. A slide with a koi fish finish around it. I think.
Yeah, super nice.
Yeah, a lot of kids love that. I know when Frank and Di go to schools, as soon as I mentioned he loves Barina Park, all the kids start cheering. It's great. Yeah, so it's good. Yes, a lot of the parks have come up. Obviously, car parking as well. Like like Dutton Lane has gone a long way since it was when we were kids. You know.
Yes, that was brought up in Ty's episode like
That's
2 years ago, 3 years ago, a while back.
So I was a big advocate for that when and yeah, that along with the commercial down the bottom has definitely activated that piece of park of Cabra. But yeah, the parks, you got the Endeavour Reserve, a lot of futsal parks are now coming up as well. Yeah. And which is good because a lot of the private sector would charge usually sometimes hourly, 100 plus for an hour or more. Whereas with council, we're creating our own. It could cost probably 30, 40, 50 an hour. So we're giving access to young people to play the world game at a much cheaper rate. So the futsal courts and probably one of the big projects that we want to do is at Fairfield Showground. We want to do a big entertainment facility, a big entertainment hall, so that we can host big concerts or any
concerts.
big
I think one of the big changes that you do want to, that people do want to see is John Street, right? A lot of people talk about, they want to turn that into the next like 24 hours, night markets and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you reckon
So John Street's actually gone quite a long way. Like I even remember even 5 years ago, the only place at night would be that 24-hour roll place and the drink place across from it.
Yeah.
But now, even at 10 p.m. on a weekday, you're starting to see a lot of the little skewers, a lot of the bubble tea stuff. It has grown a lot organically without us really pushing it too hard. And I think, like for example, Burwood, a lot of young people are going to Burwood and it has all that chicken skewers, all that stuff. And I think naturally, the people from Cabra are saying that rather than getting people to go there organically, that's starting to come to life a bit. But in terms of that plan of that becoming the next Eat Street, I think I'd see a lot of potential in it, especially with Western Sydney Airport eventually coming to life. And my strong view was always that rather than going to Burwood Chinatown or Darling Harbour Chinatown, people are going to say, let's go to Cabra because that's closest to the airport. So Cabra and the two Canleys.
So the metro would go to Bankstown. I should know this. I'm trying to figure out where they end up. So they would get off the airport, take it to, it's still in development, and then maybe they get off on the Bankstown line, take a train, something like that.
Or there probably eventually will be some sort of shuttle or even Uber or whatever car. People realise it's not that long to get there, so they'll just hopefully take a drive to Cabra. And with the Nova Hotel as well opening up in the Cabra Diggers area, that will bring a lot of international visitors as well.
Yeah.
So eventually I can see Cabra and the Canleys will grow in that nightlife.
I have seen a few Cabra tours pop up.
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
Thing.
And that will keep growing. And Cabra's got a lot of history as well to share, so I think it will become the destination point, yeah.
You reckon it's a good business idea? I was thinking about it.
As in, yeah.
Cabra tour guide? I think it's going to start popping up.
I think that's the place to be, yeah. Yeah.
All right, you'll see me next. My next side hustle. If this doesn't work out, I'll just make it my third thing.
That's it, yeah.
Is a limiting factor for the nightlife in John Street, is it permits? Just from a public perspective, I don't know what stops people from opening past a certain time, right?
So usually when businesses apply for the use, they usually have to apply for the hours that they want to propose to as well. So it could be up to midnight or more. But I do know that the council has expressed interest to put Cabra as a like a 24-hour city or 24-hour opening, but
like just that area.
But they've only just expressed interest. That it's up to, I think, another state commission that reviews that to see if whether that is okay or not. So that's still up in the air. Yeah,
it's really busy now. Like if you go up John Street, there's like so much going on. There's music playing. Yeah, a lot of food. They got the K barbecues top of the road. Skewers, dessert. There's
always so music playing in that public open space where the
buskers.
Yeah, that's it. And hopefully we do see a more of a night market there. Like people have asked council can do a night market there?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Like food stalls and stuff,
that's right?
Like
yeah.
the Japanese style.
Correct,
you know,
yeah.
like carts and stuff. That'd be nice.
But instead of council driving the night market, usually similar to even in the city or something, usually like a non-profit or organisation will kind of drive that, and then obviously council come to support that initiative. But yeah, hopefully eventually some people get together and try to drive that as well.
Where would that be? If there were night market stalls, they'd set it up near like Red Lee?
Yeah, probably
that section.
Could be that Red Lee area all the way walking down towards maybe the Dutton Lane bit. Activate that bit at night so that people maybe park.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Because Dutton Lane car parking is quite not really occupied at night. So,
yeah. Super
so you
easy
can imagine
to park.
them maybe park there and then they use visit the night markets through there. But again, I can
hypothetically,
I can.
We don't know yet.
Eventually, someone will want to do that, and they'll probably ask council maybe for support, or and then I think council should be open to that idea. Yeah.
Hopefully soon. That'd be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
So you're saying that when you first started your politics route, there was a bit of a trend on younger people in politics. Is that still happening now?
That
you've seen?
I think so. Well, the only thing is when I go to these conferences, there's not many young people, so I guess I haven't seen a massive boom in it yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully, you'll see more in the future. Because at the end, fortunately, because I ran as an independent, so if any young person runs independent, they can run on their own, and if they get up, they're a young person representing. Whereas for the major parties, if you join a party, even if you want to get up, it's up to those parties to select young people as well. So hopefully they select more young people, and then you'll see that go up through that major party section as well.
How do people get started? If I want to, do I call myself young? 28?
Well, there's I guess there's different political parties that young people might feel connected to. So that's the first step, see if political parties is where you want to go and which values align you the most. And then you can join, obviously, the local branch, and they would meet and guess contribute back to the community in that capacity. And then eventually you build the relationships and networks, and then get into a councillor position through that way. And then whereas for me is I went through the independent side of things. But whichever pathway young people go through, just see a mentor, see someone in that respective party that you really are inspired about, and learn from them and work your way through. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems very daunting to start. I know Di runs the Young People in Parliament or something?
Yeah.
I forgot the name.
She'll have
what is it?
Fowler. I think she has
camera?
Fowler. I think Fowler Youth Advisory. So they'll meet and probably discuss youth issues and youth ideas, and Di will raise those issues in Parliament. And on top of that, she'll create events that are related to youth with the advice of that advisory as well to be able to connect to the young people.
So that's kind of like SRC, right?
Say in a way, like a young voice within Di's, I guess, Di's team, you'd say, and then so Di knows what the young people are thinking as well, or what they need what they need. Yeah.
So because you do face a lot of like the local residents and whatnot, so what are some of the most rewarding moments that you've had with some of them?
There's two that really stick out. So one is because obviously the Vietnam veterans are still here, and they've done a lot of service to allow us to be sitting here today. So sometimes I get invited to commemorations to pay respect and acknowledge the people that have lost their lives during the Vietnam War. And I went to an event at it was in Cabra Park, and it was just a flag raising ceremony to commemorate that. And they asked me to speak, to just say a few words.
Oh man, it's a lot of pressure.
And I didn't prepare anything, but I was like, sometimes if you don't prepare anything, you just got to say what you want to say in your heart. And then when I got up and I spoke, I just kind of acknowledged the veterans for their service, and I just be straight saying that if it wasn't for them doing what they did, I wouldn't even be here speaking today, and a lot of the young people won't be here today. A lot of the businesses that are now booming in Cabra won't even be here today. And just being able to say that and then go down to my seat and then shake hands with all the veterans as well, like just naturally, I think for them to hear from a young person acknowledging them, I hope it gives them that everything that I fought for was worth it. And so I remember driving home thinking, that's because
it's so emotional.
Yeah, because a lot of young people sometimes don't go to all those events as much. So I guess hoping when I say that it means a lot to them. But I say that it means a lot to me to say that as well. So yeah, so gives you a perspective. Yeah.
Was that in Vietnamese?
So I say it in English, but there was a time where I throw out my Vietnamese when I have to.
Could you have translated the whole thing in Viet?
I wouldn't have translated, but there was another speech I did where, because it was the 50th year, I said something in the lines of like, even though today it marks the 50th year since the anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War, I'll make sure I be here in the 100th year. And then in Vietnamese, I said to the crowd, my Vietnamese is not that good, but I want to say that phrase I just said in Vietnamese.
Yeah. How'd you go with that?
So I said like, bên này là 50 năm, but một trăm năm, like Gong says, still be here commemorating. And I think saying that or even trying to say that goes a long way too, because I do get, because sometimes I'm a bit shy of my Vietnamese, but people always say the more you try or show that you're trying actually hits hard as well. It goes a long way too, because people can feel that too. So that's why I knew I had to say that bit in Vietnamese, and I tend to try to throw in a little bit of Vietnamese to kind of strengthen the statements I want to make. Yeah, because
it sounds like it'd be super hard to try and incorporate Viet in your role.
Yeah.
If you're trying to talk to like local members, and it's like, how do I even say these niche words? We wouldn't even learn that.
It's hard. Like I find listening, I can listen better, but articulating a message sometimes it's hard. But I just have to do the best I can. Yeah.
I feel the same, man.
Yeah.
With like trying to learn Viet, why is it so hard as an older guy to try and pick up your own language?
But a second rewarding moment, because sometimes it looks like things are very busy and it's like, oh my God, there's too much happening. But then there's moments where you make a little difference where it's all worth it. So I remember another one was I had a constituent reach out to me that his wife unfortunately passed away, or not passed away, but is very sick, and in the process of passing away. And then she wanted the uncle to be I guess at the hospital to see her before she passes away, but they couldn't get their visa sorted out. And then he called me and said, please, Kev, can you assist me in this? And obviously as a local councillor, that's not my like I can't do anything about that. But luckily Di is a mentor, and Di has relationships with Homes Affair. And I remember calling Di, and Di was able to get her team to get that visa expedited, and the uncle was able to make it to Australia. Unfortunately, she passed away in that process, but the uncle was able to make it to the funeral. But I remember the constituent coming up to me and just really like acknowledging me for being allowing the uncle to be here, and just little things like that. Like it makes it all worth it, So so there's been a lot of those little stuff, that's happening.
Yeah, you're making this episode too emotional.
Yeah.
This Sunday morning as we're recording this, but wow, so that's incredibly touching. Are there any? Let's try to lighten up the mood a little. Any more funny stories that might have come up helping anyone?
Funny stories is because I'm a twin, right?
Yeah.
So when I told him, my brother, I'm going to run for council, he's like, don't do it, like if you do something wrong, they're going to throw eggs at me too. As a joke.
Yeah.
And he always makes this joke about, because there was one time in front of our house, because we live in a high flood risk zone. So when it floods, unfortunately, it floods our street a bit. And I wasn't home at the time, but my brother was home. And then the car was flooding, like car was in the water a bit. So he was running out with his undies, to get it moved. And then a couple of the residents just shouting at him like, do something. And he would be like, and then call me later, like, Kev, that's you. So So that's the funny bit sometimes where people get mixed that they don't know that I'm a twin, so they reach out to my brother, and yeah, you have moments like that. Which
Wait, how do they reach out to him?
And in that moment, like,
or
sometimes I see him on the street. They think that I am.
Yeah.
That's me.
Getting lunch or something. Yeah.
But that one with the flood one, they just thought that was me. So that's why they like do something about the
flooding?
Yeah, just the water. There's like just water just coming up a bit too high. But it's a high flood risk zone. So
what do they expect him to do though? Just cleaning the drain?
They just want someone to say something, and then he happened to be there.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, but little stuff like that, that makes it funny sometimes.
That does sound like it can cause issues, yeah. If they see him do something and then they film it, he's like, oh, he just, I don't know, forgot to pay for his coffee or something.
Yeah. No, that's why his role is to always be a good role model as well, because there's always that element of that someone, if he does something wrong, then that's me doing something wrong. So but now he owns it. He enjoys it, and yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Do you get a bit worried about saying, not that you would, but certain actions or things could be interpreted wrong, that you'd have to sort of watch what you're saying a lot of the time? Yeah,
there's always a bit of element of that for sure. But at the end of the day, I always tell my brother or Bao, like, I always try to do what I think is best, and if it's ever been spun in a way differently and something does go bad or something, as long as they know that my intention is always to do what's best for the community or for whatever issue I'm trying to resolve, then that's the most important bit. And for me as well, like when I go home and sleep, knowing that I've done what I think was best, even if it's perceived as different or spun in another negative way, I know that that's not the truth or whatever. But fortunately, that hasn't happened yet, so let's keep it that way.
it can be worrying because you got the media where newspapers might spin it a certain way. Like
that's it. But I guess my profile's not that high enough for them to even
I guess not yet. It's like, he supports 24-hour street markets. Oh, so he hates residents sleeping in their apartments. What?
So could come after this now. Jokes. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll finish up with a little bit of the riding aspect. So there aren't actually a lot of motorcyclists in probably in Australia as a whole. It's a very car-centric place. Yes. I only recently got into it.
Yes.
Because I think I've told this like probably 50 times, but I wanted to rent a motorbike in Korea.
Yeah.
It wouldn't let me. It was like super small little bike, and I was like, I can ride a bicycle, and it's 3 wheels.
Yeah.
So it's effectively a trike. They didn't let me hire it, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get my license. I'll get this negated completely whenever I go on holiday now. So, do you recommend people to start riding?
Yeah, no, I definitely recommend it. It's obviously it's cheaper. It's quicker to get around. But yeah, obviously it's dangerous as well. But I find as long as you do, I did a lot of different riding schools to learn how to ride defensively. So that when you ride around cars, I always have that mentality that this car is going to hit me or this car is going to merge into me. And if you ride with that mindset, you should be okay. And just don't take too much risk. But yeah, and then the roads you get to go to, the people you get to meet, it's another form of therapy or freedom itself. So
it's really different.
Yeah,
going 50 k's an hour on the bike versus in the car. It's much more freeing, feeling the wind on you, and it's a bit of a thrill. Yeah, a bit
of a thrill, and choose your thrills. Where wisely as well. And
don't speed, don't do wheelies. Yeah, don't do any of that.
Yeah.
Any bike to start off with? You recommend?
I'd say the most popular bikes would be the MT-03, the MT-07s.
That's what I've got. The MT-03.
They're nice, upright, not too much power, not too less, and easy to commute around. Yeah.
So you run the safety school stuff as well?
Yeah. So I run the track days. So if you want to go around a racetrack as quick as you want with a team of marshals and ambulance there to help if anything happens, then that's where you do the track days.
Don't you fall?
Yeah. If you do fall, then at least you're in a track environment where there's runoff, there's grass, and you're wearing levers, and then someone can can pick you up.
But you got to buy all that.
Correct. So you got to buy all that, or at my place, it's called SWO Truck Days. You can rent levers as well.
Oh, how much are they?
$90 to rent.
That's not bad. I think the whole suit is like $1,000, right?
Yeah, they're grand.
Like one of those retail stores.
Yeah, but you can buy a lot of second. I always tell people buy second-hand ones you see for a few hundred that you see on Marketplace to start off. One is to protect you, but also you see if truck's riding for you, then maybe you invest in the more expensive levers and get all custom to the colours you like.
I need, I definitely need better everyday gear. I don't think the one I have is the best, but
yeah, that's worth it because you end up using those levers or helmets for a long time. It's like getting a car. You buy the bumpers, all the kits,
the body kit, and everything.
What about you got to give yourself a body kit? And so definitely.
I'm scared of like if you fall because you're going to drop the bike, it's going to damage it.
Yeah.
That's another worry.
Yeah, that's a worry that a lot of people have as well. So that's why more than half of the participants they have their own track bikes that they bring along to these days.
Oh, but you got to like trailer that and stuff.
Yeah, so you got to trailer it, but at least they know if it's a bike, it's a couple grand or a few grand. If they crash that, then they don't have to worry too much.
Yeah, about retro or whatever.
Yeah. But I guess rather than crashing on the road where there's a tree or a street pole on your street bike, you're still better off bringing that and giving a go on the track.
Yeah.
Getting that thrill there out of your system. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
We'll go get Tung out. We'll go Tung out on the track.
All right. We'll do a collab. I'll be on the track. But I'm more of a car track guy. I prefer the car. It's a bit safer.
Yeah.
But yeah. I really enjoy riding a bike. And I think I do recommend it. But yes, watch a lot of Dash Cams Australia because that's where I got my defensive training.
Yes.
But what's the course that you recommend? Because I'm thinking of doing one of those like safe riding ones.
California Superbike School was probably the riding school that I did when I was in my L's, and that you learn a lot of the foundations of everything you need to know with riding, like when to turn in, how far to go deep before you turn, a lot of the automatic human reactions that sometimes actually could cause you to crash, or how to kind of know those and control those. So that's where I learned a lot of that foundation from that school, California Superbike School.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Is there a special code from that side?
I don't think there's a special code.
The Sydney West Riders group?
No, we don't have a code, but it costs us like, when I did it was like 500 and something. Now it's like, I think 800 or 900, which sounds a lot, but it's a good investment for your riding, saving your own life for the years ahead. So that's why it's worth that money.
All right.
I'd say
I might check it out. I think what I get scared of is the leaning.
Yeah.
You gotta trust in the bike because when I turn, it sort of leans a little bit, but then I get a bit scared of like going the whole way when I do a sharp turn. So
that's where that track school you get to learn to learn how your mind thinks, and then once you get the experts teaching you how to do that, the leaning becomes natural. When you try to force that lean, that's when it's scary. Like, this is too much. But when it comes naturally, which is through the schools I went to, then not just schools, but when you do just normal track days, you've got the more of the extra edge to try to do something a bit more, and that's where you get more confident. Yeah,
so because you still run this page for over 10 years now, what drives you to keep going?
Yeah, so a lot of the events I've run, like I've had the opportunity to pretty much unite a lot of riders together. What I find was when I first started riding, obviously it was to be cool, go to A to B.
In a group,
great, you know. But I think the more I did it, probably after your third year or fourth year, I had a lot of riders starting to reach out saying that because of your event, I was able to help, get out of depression or help get out of my negative thoughts or help me recovering from losing my mother. And one of the biggest memories I had was I did a ride for Youth Off the Streets, just a charity ride.
Yeah.
And one of the riders came up to me when I was going around collecting donations. He gave me $100.
Wow.
And I said, let me get change for you. But then he said the reason why I'm still here is because of you guys, because of being in the events. So now when I tell the a lot of my team that lead a lot of my events now, I tell them that when we bring riders together, it's no longer A to B, we're being that platform, that environment to make a difference to a lot of the men and females to recover from whatever that they're going through with their life, even if it's just for that moment. That applies for both the street and the track events. Because the track events, a lot of my team's like, Kev, why don't you ever ride on the track at your events? I'm always just walking around and managing day. I always tell them I get a buzz seeing people get off the track and feeling free. And so that's why I do a lot of the motorcycle events still, because I know that I'm hoping to make a difference to those guys. I try to create events where I know I'm trying to do something to help make that difference as well. Yeah.
I never really thought about that reaches that far for people. Which is insane.
Because riding is a go out or a freedom for a lot of people, even if it's in that moment.
It is quite like meditative in a sense. When you just ride, you just switch off, just enjoy the ride. Yeah.
And then and just seeing people get together, like even if there's like a group of 30 or 40, and then maybe one or two, some events there's let's say a crash, unfortunately that happens, to see the 30 or 40 from all different backgrounds, different ages, most of them have never met each other, come out and make sure everyone's okay. It's a very like a powerful moment to remind that we all can work together. So I see a lot of that different type of stuff through the riding journey, and I think that had been a good foundation as well for my councillor stuff as well, and the stuff I did go through that, and gives us hope, so that's why that's a big driver on why the Seniors Riders is still doing its thing, and
Could you have imagined it turning into that, just from where it started with six?
Not at all. Yeah, no,
people?
definitely not. It's kind of like you just surprise yourself when you keep chipping away. And I think for anyone, as long as you do what you think is right or you love and pursue that why, organically you surprise where you end up as well. So Seniors Riders, it's now become one of the largest groups, but not in terms of just numbers, but in terms of just the events and stuff that they try to do to also promote the positive sides of motorcycling as well. So that's another thing I try to do.
All right. If you do want to rock up to an event, I haven't been to one yet. But is it quite welcoming? I think because if you have an event and it's 50, 100 people, it's if you rock up, I feel like people are just going to be staring at me like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
But how is it to newbies that might want to jump in?
So we have the weekly Wednesday night rides, and obviously sometimes going on a first ride of a group is a bit scary. So every quarter we have a Wednesday night ride where we theme it as like meet, greet and eat. So it's just a short ride to a local eatery, and then people just eat. So we find that's a good way to bring people out. And then we also introduce Rev Rise, which is a little breakfast event that we do every couple of months, where people ride and we host a free barbecue with bacon and eggs.
Nice.
For free. And then another way to encourage people to come out and Riders Connect. We also started where we have a colleague that has a workshop, and we bring riders together to talk about workshop related stuff or just general connect with one another. So we try to create different events to encourage the ones that are a bit more scary to come out, because I know what it's like when I came out on my first ride. It's daunting, and also the team as well. I always tell the team, every event that you run, you don't talk to the people that you see that you know. You try to talk to the people that are new, because I know that once a new person speaks to the organizer, they automatically will feel comfortable, feel accepted. Yeah, and that's been, I guess, the model or the approach that I've always used for the last 14 years for any events I do, to try to connect to the ones that I haven't seen before and make them feel comfortable, and organically the group has grown to where it is today, I think. Yeah.
All right. Well, we should tag along. What's the let's plug your stuff. So I think well, where can we find you, Kevin, and all your extra links to things?
So for the website cinewestriders.com.au, and then Instagram is Cinewest Riders for all the street stuff, and then for the track day activities is SWI Track Days.
All right. And if people have queries if they live in the Fairfield LGA?
Yeah.
Should they reach out to you?
That's it. Any issues, your bin's not being picked up, or there's a pothole that looks a bit, how you going? You just reach out to. You probably find my details on the Fairfield Council website, and I'll see what I can do.
Or just snap, send, solve. That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's one of the easiest ones.
Snap, send, and solve on that. Not every council is registered that. So sometimes we don't get all the stuff that comes through that. So it's still best to email it through or talk to council directly on that. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, maybe I'll think of that next time I see a trolley that's left around.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Kevin, for joining us today. If you do have any questions, queries, concerns, you can reach out to us at riceandmikespodcast@gmail.com, or you can follow us on our socials at Rice and Mike's Podcast. We'll wrap up on this episode. Kevin's been great. Remember to check in on your local member, councillor. I'm getting the term mixed up, but make sure to check out who's even available, because even I don't know that there were 12 of them out there in my local LGA. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. See ya. Bye. No? All right.